Hi there. How's it going, everyone? Freya is here once more with an interesting topic. So, I was analyzing myself once more, my past and my future, and how all this got together. And eventually, I got to the realization that I did not like when people treated me as a guy. I mean, when my ex girlfriends treated me as a guy in the relationships where I was presenting myself as a guy. So, that was kind of like, interesting finding. So what did we do about this? I just got upset with them and I just told them, like, I remember I do not want to be treated like you treat me as a guy because I do not like what guys like. I do not act kind of like what guys act like. And they just kind of got lost. I'm like, you're a guy. We can see this at this point, right? And then eventually, kind of the things took on a different turn and we got to, yeah, breaking up, which usually I initiated the breakups. Like 90%, 80% of my breakups, I was the one who walked out of the relationship because I was just like, yeah, this is not for me. Sometimes I've had the people I actually was dreaming of having, or like I kind of was thinking of like as my 100% future partner until I realized, like, okay, I got you now, but that's it. I don't really know what to do with this because I don't feel like I'm myself. I don't even know what I'm doing here. You look exactly as I kind of wanted you to look. I'm having exactly what I kind of wanted to get when I was a teenager, and now I have it, and I'm realizing it's not it. So we need to get out. So we usually walked out. But in relationships, I think this was a sign of me also not being or perceiving myself as a guy in relation to like the rest of guys. I do not perceive myself as a gay guy either because also gay guys behave in certain ways that I kind of interacted with, and I'm like, I don't see myself as this either. So it's not this and it's not this. So I was kind of stuck just trying different male personalities, like being the musician, being the whatever, like fancy bougie person buying brands, and then being a traveler, being a hippie, being a nomad, being a hipster. Like I had a man bun, I had like a beanie in the summer. It was just kind of chaos from that moment on because I was just completely lost. I'm like, what kind of guy am I if I'm not any type of guy? Eventually, none. But having ex girlfriends treat me as a guy was a problem because one of those problems was how they kind of perceived to interact with me. So, for example, they expected me to like certain things or dislike certain things or want to hang out with certain people and not want to hang out with certain people. But then, in general, I kind of preferred to hang out with women, not with men. I was kind of always anxious hanging out with men in general. And that was kind of problematic, history and all. But eventually, I got with one or two of my exes, and usually, like even if it's like in the States or it's in Spain or whatever, guys hang out with guys, girls hang out with girls. So equality, no. Eventually, I remember one time my ex was visiting a friend in Barcelona in Arenys de Mar somewhere, and I was invited with her. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go. Like your friends do not like me. And she's like, no, they do. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but like it's like your friend's birthday from high school. Everyone's gonna be there, knowing each other. Blah 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 blah. Eventually, we get to the party. I'm hanging out, and I'm just like, what are we gonna do? So they explained that they're gonna be playing this kind of escape room kind of game scenario, and there's guy team and there's girls teams. And then I was just like, oh no, they're gonna put me in the guys team. Like these guys don't even like me, or I don't know, like if I'm comfortable being around these people. But eventually, I did not speak the language, and I talked to my partner about this. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be here. Like this is just like pressure now. Eventually, I joined the girls team and was, helping, and I kind of felt okay, very happy, very chill. So it was not really much of a problem from that moment on. But that also led to me realizing, like, even before, I was more comfortable in groups of women than in groups of men. And I'm talking about like friends, like, and in general, I had issues with women because if I got to be around groups of women, there would be probably one or two people who are interested in me sexually. So I presented like that as a guy even before this transition. I dressed up really nicely, so I had like different vibe. and that's why a lot of people thought I was gay for some reason. But eventually, I actually toned it down for a while, and then I just realized, no, screw this. Eventually, I had people interested in me, had women interested in me, but then I also felt kind of betrayed because I'm like, I wanted to be a friend, and all you're doing now is like pretending to be a friend so that you get something. So you bring all your girlfriends and hang out all together, and me not knowing, and then when nothing happens and all the moves you've made did not work, because trust me, they did, you know, show me their moves. Then eventually we just kind of, someone tells me like, yeah, but like this girl liked you. That's why we kind of invited you for these places. It's not like we like you to begin with. So what I realize is like women in general and men in general in society, if they're like playing this role perfectly, they're going to hang out with other women and other men. So men hang out with men, women like hang out with women. They have similar interests here, they have similar interests here, and eventually it just segregates. Even in societies where it's like, oh, we're all equal and equality for all, I can be having guy and girlfriends. Yes, if you're a guy with women friends, how often did they talk to you about their sex life? Because trust me, women are very sexual, but you do not know about this. Women do not talk about sexuality to guys. There's just like something about it because they don't want to like make the guy feel horny and just like take it as a sign, because guys take everything as a freaking sign. But eventually, I'm in with my friends, and like most of them are actually super sexual, except me. I'm not sexual. So like sometimes they're like telling me like, yeah, who are you seeing? I'm like, I'm not seeing anyone. I'm not interested in anyone. I'm not thinking about anything. Stop sending me pictures of videos of like things that look like whatever because I'm not seeing this. But this is kind of what they do. Like if they have the confidence, it's not like guys are always sexual and women are not sexual. It's not wrong. Women are sexual, but you don't know about it. Guys are sexual, but everyone knows about it because they do not know how to control themselves. Problematic. Um, Bottom line, um, I had women in college, women friends in college. Majority of them wanted something more than friendship, which made me very upset because now I'm realizing I was kind of betrayed by people I thought were friends. Like I had people come to my house and we just hung out and stuff, and like I lived alone and they like lie in my bed, lie on the couch, and they felt comfortable. And I just thought like, that's what friends do, come hang out here, do whatever you want, mi casa, su casa. Bottom line, no, they're not just here hanging out, lying on the couch, throwing their legs, opening their whatever for friendship. There's like sending signals, we're alone, please do something. But this is also the issue with like women in the past. Like women who I dated were women who made the move, not women who waited for me to make moves. And for me, that was just so attractive because like if you think I'm pretty as a guy, and you approach me and tell me I'm pretty, I'm like, ooh, tell me more. Let's talk about it. Hi. So eventually I dated most of these women. Some of them I didn't even like, but they like just had this energy and confidence, and they told me like, you never know because we never dated, so how would you say no? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let's go on the date. And eventually we date for a while and we break up. I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew it, but like, you convinced me, so I'm in. And a lot of women convinced me to get in a relationship, just saying, you never know. And I'm like, you know what? It's true. I never know. Like I'm saying this is not gonna work because I'm saying that you're like this and I'm like this. But deep down, I never know. So I'm always like, okay, let's take the step. Let's go out. Let's get to know each other. But eventually I break up with them and I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew. So sorry, but um I do have women friends. I did have women friends, even though I was masculine presenting, and most of these women were not typical women, like collective woman behavior kind of girl, right? So I have a couple who were friends, and from the beginning, like we were just kind of clicked because they were like different, a little bit more. Like one of them is a bit more masculine, short hair, adventurous, travels alone, and I think we talked about one day that she was kind of non-binary for a while, but she thinks it's easier to kind of just live life as just like saying I'm just a woman because like it doesn't have that dysphoria part exactly. So, but we talked about. I told her like we could, talk to you as a non-binary. She's like, no, I'm fine with it. But I'm like, I already saw you. Like you did not act like a girl, and she told me the same thing. Like when I first met you, I thought you were gay. obviously. But then when I told her I came out and she told me, like, yeah, I'm very happy for you. I kind of knew there's something about you. Being gay also was kind of a different mentality, but that was kind of the closest thing they could get to when they saw me as a guy presenting. And I think I asked a couple of those women who were close to me, and I told them, like, what makes people think I'm gay? Like, why do people keep telling me this? And there were three things that came up. One was my high pitch of voice when I talk. So I took this later and trained it, but my high pitch of voice when I talk, and then my hand gestures, apparently, because I move my hands and I do like this instead of like, I don't know what guys do with their hands, honestly, but I have my hands like sitting at this position quite often, just like hanging out, chilling, very loose. Number three would be my posture or my style, right? So eventually, I actually changed all those three because I'm like, no, I need to be a guy. So what is it like to be a guy? I'm like, all right, I need to not use my pitch when I'm excited and I'm talking to someone. And I need to stop using my hand gestures when I'm talking to someone I'm interested in, especially a girl I'm interested in at the time, because that was kind of the goal that I set for myself. And the third was kind of to walk with my back, with my shoulders, and not walk with my, let's say, my neck up like this, because that kind of, I don't know, for some reason makes you look feminine. Does it? I don't know. Eventually, I changed those. So what I'm doing now is actually the complete opposite. What I'm doing now is not me being or trying to be a woman or a girl or whatever. What I'm doing now is I'm untraining myself from all those masculine things that I put onto my own shoulders because I want it to be normal. I want it to be accepted. And I think this door was opened when I had just like gave up on my family completely. I'm like, you are not trying to understand that I would not be whatever you want me to be. But I was trying to kind of protect them. You know, I'm like, I should not tell you anything. I cannot be something that's going to hurt you. Now, like the last thing that happened, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Like, deal with it. You're an adult. I'm not going to be here protecting you. If you want to know things and you want to ask the question for these things, do not expect me to lie. But this is what they wanted. They want me to lie to them so that they can feel comfortable and happy with whatever they created. But that's not how it works when you have children. Children are not going to be what you expect them to be. So if you're going to have children, be ready or at least accept it in your mind that they might be exactly the things that you do not like. Because if they're part of society, that could happen. Um, Now, I've had definitely guy friends who kind of were normal, but not like your typical soccer dude drinking and like obsessed with sex in some case. That's my idea of a guy, honestly. But like more on the also weird, creative type of guy, like usually musicians or bisexuals or people who are queer in a certain sense. So I did not really have any relationships with like strong relationships with straight guys. I did have in college, or at least I tried, because I was trying to be them. And then I kind of just like saw the behavior as toxic and I did not like it. And then with women, it was kind of similar thing. They kind of pretend to be your friend and then they make a move and I'm like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. And I appreciate they do make a move if they do. But eventually it was kind of like, I've had like a very close friend in college. We've been friends for years until one day I remember this because she was very desperate, I guess, and I kind of knew that they threw out some signs, but I was not interested in her in general. But eventually, she got me drunk, and she took me to her house, almost SA'd me. Actually, it did, but then I was too drunk, and I could not get hard in that sense, and she kind of just stopped and ran to the kitchen, put on her clothes, start like worrying about things, and I just kind of pretended that I'm just asleep. I don't remember anything. I'm like, I don't know. Like I did not think of this as bad thing before, but now I definitely see it because one was deception that I thought you were my friend, but the other thing is you getting me drunk as a girl and stimulating me by kissing me and just being playful, which I was kind of like, okay, I know what you want. I'm kind of tired of all these games. Let's try. Like, this is my idea. It's like, let's try. What could go wrong? Eventually, the friendship ended because eventually I knew there's something more to it. And I tried to hang out with them, but then they had a boyfriend, and I think once they get a boyfriend, they kind of move on from liking you or something, and that's it. That just ends there. So what I want to mention eventually is I did not like being treated as a guy when I was a guy in relationships with women. I preferred my ex girlfriend to treat me as a lesbian, as a girl in the relationship. I even had an argument with a couple of them. It was like, get me flowers, tell me I'm pretty. I hate it when like women come to kind of expand their masculine side with me when I was kind of male presenting. Not their fault, kind of my fault. But that was kind of their way of kind of getting close, was like saying weird things, doing like weird, like, I don't know, like jokes or hurtful, what do you call those? I don't know, like recording certain tricks or whatever. And I always got offended. Always got offended. It was like, why are you being mean? Why are you being rough with me? Like, you need to be gentle with me. And people hear these things and it's like, gay. But eventually, I told a couple of them like, I do not like that you treat me as a guy because like I'm not a guy, so you should not treat me like I'm gonna be protecting you or I'm gonna be whatever. I'm gonna be running this and I'm gonna be like saying yes to you or whatever. It's like, no, I have my own autonomy. I'm trying to find who I am. And if I hang out with you, if I like you, then I want to be myself. I don't want to be whatever. But I was also playing the game of like, I'm thinking of myself in some case. Eventually, I came out. Now I think I'm having like a lot easier time. I'm friends with women, mostly, if not only, now in the city. In the city, it's mostly women. I know guys sometimes, but like they're not friends. I don't think they want to be friends either. Um, I have some guy friends from back in the day that stuck around, but we're not really talking. We're not close. But I'm glad they accepted me. It's like three of them, literally three of them. The rest disappeared. Now, women started appearing in my life. Women from my previous life started appearing in my life as friends because now they know it's like, "Ah, I can be your friend now." I'm like, yeah, you could always have been my friend, but they have this idea of like we cannot be friends if they like me or if they saw me as a guy. And I'm like, yeah, but this is exactly the problem. You do not know what you're looking at. You do not know what you're looking at. So sad. But I'm gonna go. I hope this was intriguing. I'll come up next week with another interaction and mental discovery. So follow the channel. Like, and mostly comment. I like when people comment. So just write something. I want to talk to people, see what they're going through, share their lives. And yeah, I'm actually very happy. I have a very interesting fit. I want to put this, but I do not know where and how, like, to use this, honestly. But I think this will be a killer. But I have an interesting outfit, if I may say. Right? Right. So I'm having this and I'm going to go out. I think my friend wants to go to like a dub. I don't set dubstep, like reggae dub kind of dance show. Not my vibe. I just want her to get laid for both of us. Anyway, gotta go.